Hey, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Picture International with me, Darius. Today's the 20, 28th, yes, 28th of July, 2023. So, yep, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner in there, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. I believe you can find some useful information here. So, yep, just check us out. And if you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll always be happy to kind of give you something like, or in terms of not advice, of course, but if you have any questions, for sure, just reach out to us. Honestly, we'll be happy to help. If we don't know the answer, we'll try to find the answer for you. So yeah, right, guys. Jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. So, okay, in general, the week has been an interesting one, and I know that it's still not finished. We still have kind of a day to go through. We still have some data to be released, but look, for now, what can I say? The interest rates. We got the interest rate from the Fed, right? They increased by another 25 basis points. ECB also increased by another 25 basis points, and yes, we saw some interesting action yesterday, but I'll pick up on that in a bit. So yeah, and today we had the BoJ, which actually kept the interest rate the same as previous, in order to kind of maybe continue stimulating the economy. And this is the exact result that we're getting here on Nikkei. So initially we fell off the cliff because look, we fell lower. We broke this upside line. This one's drawn from the low of the 15th of March. And initially everything looked very, very bearish. But then look at this. I mean, we're recovering back up here, everything. And okay, this is like, talk about a roller coaster ride, right? Look, the thing is that the fear came in initially from, I think that from the way the Fed was talking, and the market yesterday, the U.S. indices sold off, and it wasn't very good kind of, let's say, moment for Nikkei. Nikkei also sold off on that because they are thinking that they're also thinking that the Fed kind of left some room for further rate hikes, and again. US GDP, preliminary US GDP numbers came out, but I'll pick up on that as well. Those were on the positive side. And yes, and we saw that decline initially, just because, like I said, the fear of Fed rate hiking further, yes, it's there. But then kind of, I think it stabilized, and the market, I think, that just kind of reacted to the fact that the Nikkei here reacted to the fact that the BoJ continues to kind of support the stimulus, and there we go. We had a nice recovery, a strong recovery. I mean, looking at the probably 30-minute chart, you'll see a beautiful decline and a beautiful recovery, and basically going back to the same level where it kind of, where it peaked. So yeah, at this point, what can I say? I'm still sticking to the same game plan. I'm keeping an eye on this upside line. If it continues to provide support, then yes, we could see maybe a nice move to the upside. However, as I said before, I need to see the index staying above this 32,923,960 levels, and then we could consider a move a little bit to the upside, maybe towards this downside line drawn from the high of the 16th of June. So at the moment, like I said, that's a simplistic approach on Nikkei here. Let's see if that's going to work. But if it suddenly starts falling back again below this upside line, and maybe it drops and stays below the 50-day EMA, this increases the chances for this index to move lower. At this point, I'm just observing the price action. I'm not really doing much. The Chinese index, boom. China 50, boom, to the upside. Look at this. I mean, first of all, first things first. This idea here, it worked out nicely. So I talked about a retracement, maybe coming closer somewhere to this 100-day EMA, maybe this downside line. And then maybe if this holds, a nice reversal here could be possible. And look, I said to you before, and I'll say it again. It's never the exact level. It's never the exact. It's always the area near that level or line or whatever. So yeah, this worked out nicely. And look, this exploded to the upside, cleared the 13,064 territory. And now the question is, can we see a further move north? Oh, no. This is my colleague. My colleagues keep changing these, but that's okay. It's okay. Everybody likes their own, everybody has their own kind of style. Everybody has their own kind of, favorite color, their own favorite colors. So it's all fine. Look, so we cleared this barrier, the 13,064 zone, and we stayed above the 200-day EMA. So in a way, that's kind of pointing to me that maybe more upside could be possible. So look, and also the index kind of rose on the hopes on the Chinese government pledge that they will, continue supporting the economy. They will do their measures. But of course, again, everything's changeable. But at the moment, yeah, the market is reacting positively. So that's fine. That's okay. We go through this every day. I mean, the market reacts to different rumors. And I think maybe this one could be the case here. Buy the rumor, sell the news. But so look, at this point, for now, I would say everything's looking good. But given that it's Friday, my question: this is the futures index. And my question here right now is, will we stay above this 13,000 and, or should I say above this 200-day EMA? Will we stay above it? Above that 200-day EMA? And I'm talking about the futures here. So if they stay, great, wonderful. Maybe going into next week, we go a little bit more to the upside. But of course, we're not rushing into anything. Maybe this, reverses back down. And if it suddenly starts falling back below the 200-day EMA, now that's where I will consider a larger maybe correction here to the downside. But again, we'll take it from there. For now, we're just observing this one. I'm leaving it today. I'm not doing anything. I'm just observing it because already, look, it did a good job. It popped above my barrier. So that's what I was kept on talking about, like for this whole week. And there we go. We had that pop. We got that pop. So let's go. Let's see if we can go further north. ASX 200. Now this one's feeling the pressure, the bearish pressure, and look at this. Now, first thing I have to say that this barrier, the 7,407, initially was working, but now it's no longer working. So, well, I think that we have to redraw stuff here. But what I want to do really, I really want to get rid of all the lines, to be honest. But okay, let's leave them for now. Okay, look, something, yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to get rid of because I started seeing something else here. Something that doesn't happen very often, but maybe this is the case. Again, I'm not, like I said, don't really focus on this too much, but this right here, let me just a second. So let me just adjust this. I don't like this, the way it's showing up here, but there we go. So this downside line is somehow doing a good job in providing good support. Now, previously I had this line. Okay, so I can keep that one as well, but I think that this is going to be a little bit in the way of my analysis. So let me just get rid of this one for now. The other thing that I really wanted to point out is that potentially we have ourselves a broadening triangle, which got broken already. So I get it. I'm kind of picking up on this one maybe a little bit later, but the fact that we drifted back down after breaking this downside line, and look, this is a perfect example where a trend line got broken, and then now we're revisiting it from the other side, and so far so good. Okay, that's absolutely fine. We're revisiting that. So let me just grab an arrow here. Where's my arrow? There we go. So yeah, so look, this could still be the case. Now, we broke the broadening triangle pattern to the upside. That's fine. And in general, it's working out according to the TA rules, actually. And like I said, I'm really disappointed in that I didn't see this one earlier. But, you know, we don't have superpowers, so at least I can see it now. So, because the broadening triangle here, and the prevailing trend was to the upside. We entered this broadening triangle, and then theoretically, according to all the TA rules, it should break to the upside, and there we go. It actually broke to the upside. So, well, like I said, picking up on this one a little bit post factum, but again. So far, maybe we could squeeze something out of this. So if this continues to trade somehow above this upper side of the broadening triangle, which got broken, then yes, another move higher could be possible. And this is the arrow, the trajectory that I will consider to be the next, if we continue to trade above the upper side of the broadening triangle. Now, I have this target here, the 7,529. That was the previous one that I spoke about. Also, I had a level here, but I think that no longer needed because, again, it got violated and didn't really respect it. So, what I can do here, maybe I can mark this hurdle here. At the moment, we can see that there is a little bit of a hold up. I don't know how much, by how much. Another thing that I really wanted to show you, which supports the upside on this one, on the ASX 200, is the upside line right here, which in a way, look, if it can kind of, let's say, continues to provide support, maybe that rebound here could come in earlier. If we break it, still there is a chance to rebound from the upper side of the broadening triangle. But if the broadening triangle starts, well, or should I say, we see the price falling back into the broadening triangle, then yes, I will consider a move towards these EMAs initially. Either of them, like either the 50, then I'll go for the 100, and then I'll go for the 200-day EMA. I'll go slowly on this, and then we will kind of take it from there. We'll see what he wants to do after. Maybe it will find some support somewhere around here. Who knows? The only thing is we can speculate, but again, like I said, my downside scenario could come on a break back inside the broadening triangle. But at this point, like I said, I'm cautiously bullish. Dow Jones Industrial Average. Dow Jones Industrial Average. Look, yesterday we had a decline, so the market kind of digested the Fed's meeting, which was on Wednesday, and yes, we saw some negativity kicking in. Yeah, because look, I talked about this, and I said that the Fed will keep some room for more in rate hikes and stuff like that. And at the same time, they will say that maybe we'll see how the economy goes, and maybe we'll slow down. So it's kind of pleasing everybody in a way. But look, at the moment, what can I say here? The technicals so far work on my side, because what I said to you before, that if we do pop and stay above the 35,751 territory somewhere around here, then yes, I will go higher. But if we fail, I mean, if we start breaking lower, my breakout to the downside idea will be somewhere from around here, from around that 35,350 territory. And look how well that level acted yesterday as a good support. I mean, that is just amazing. So what can we do now? I'm gonna stick to that same on the same level. I mean, while we remain in here, while we remain in this territory, then yes, I will remain neutral, and I will kind of continue watching the price action, because maybe we'll start ranging, maybe something else, I don't know. But at this point, I'm just waiting until we get a clear breakout through one of the levels. Now, today, guys, we do have some data coming out still. So look, from Europe, we have the GDP numbers, from individual European states. So just kind of check out those. France will deliver its preliminary inflation numbers. So quite an interesting day. And also, US will. Germany also will deliver its, CPI, the preliminary CPI numbers. But I think that the spotlight might fall again on the US with the PCE numbers. So, the PCE number, which is one of the beloved, the PCE deflator, which is one of the beloved Fed's inflation monitoring, numbers. So, it's basically, to be precise, quote, is the average it's an indicator of the average increase in prices for all domestic personal consumption. So that's why the Fed really likes it more than any other, because I think for them it gives a much better picture of what's happening actually with inflation. So we'll see how that comes out. At the moment, the year-on-year number, the headline year-on-year number, is expected to decline from 3.8 to 3.1, and the core one, the year-on-year number, the PC number, is expected also to decline from 4.6 to 4.2. Okay, everything is leaning towards the declines. That's fine. How it will actually come out, it will be very interesting. So if we see, for example, that inflation, that number comes out much higher than the forecast, we might see a further decline here in the indices, in the U.S. indices. Why? Because that would just put the Fed in the position where they will say, hey, you know what? We can see that inflation is not falling, and we need to go for more rate hikes. And there we go. We could see the indices kind of falling lower. That's what happened yesterday when the preliminary GDP numbers from the U.S. came out. Those came out better. Let me just double check exactly. So the Q on Q came out at 2.4, where the expectation was for 1.8, and it actually also beat the previous number at 2. So yeah, that's why the market kind of took it in the negative way, because again, everything revolves around the Fed right now, and how they're going to interpret all this data, because they said they're going to be data dependent. Yeah. So for them, that's like showing that the market is doing good still. And as we know, it's like not official rule that the Fed wants to bring the market down a little bit in order to maintain kind of inflation. Because, of course, the wording is not that, but you're trying to increase rates, and that this is going to harm the stock market. So, I mean. But I'm not judging, because again, there are issues. Yes, of course, inflation is a little on the higher side. However, I have to say that it will be interesting to see how in the next half year, how it will play out, because I think that there are some signs that there is a slowing down in the economy. Maybe not the US, but around the world. So China is one of those examples where, I spoke to one colleague, and he actually gave me some good information about all this. And yeah, so it's interesting how that growth, there is like zero growth in China officially. However, I mean, how can you have that zero growth? But okay, look, let's leave it here. In a way, let's for now we'll continue monitoring. And we'll, like I said, we'll keep an eye on the U.S. data today, and we'll be good and abiding citizens, and yes, we will see what the numbers come out, right? And we'll see how we can squeeze this in our favor. So at this point, like I said, with Dow, that's the technical situation. These are the levels. So I'm waiting until I get a clearance through one of those. As always, I keep forgetting one thing to do. Good morning, everyone. There we go. So, yep. So good morning, everyone. There we go. That's finally in the chat room there. S&P 500. S&P 500 also declined, of course, logical. Look, by the way, we're also in the earnings season. I mean, so we have the Fed, we have the earnings, so it's a roller coaster. I told you about this on Monday, and I warned you about this. So, yeah, we're still in that mode right now. So, long story short, going back to the technicals here, I said to you before that if we do and stay above this 4,588 zone, I'll aim higher. My next target will be 4,631 zone. Tick, tick. Fantastic. Good reach. Great result. And then at the same day, we drifted back down, and we fell to my other target, the 4,557. Tick, tick. So yeah. Oh, Daredevil Dave, good morning to you too. I can see you there in chat room. Good morning to everybody else as well who's tuning in right now. So everything kind of worked out perfectly for me. So, and what I'm looking at right now is this, and I'm going to keep an eye on this little hurdle. And if we do drop below it and stay below it, yes, I'll consider a larger correction here to the downside. Because again, we are still trading above some of these upside lines, so maybe one of them could provide support. And at this point, look, let's keep it short and simple. If we do fall below that 4,557, we can consider maybe a bit of a move to the downside. For the upside, I need to see another push back above the 4,588 zone. If you're not comfortable with that territory, you can keep an eye on the 4,600. That's I'm talking about the futures here. On the cash index, there could be a little bit of another number, but roughly it's the same. So yeah, like I said, keep your eyes on this, and then we could we'll go from there. But I'm only aiming for for this 4,631 territory again, and then I'll take it from there. Nasdaq 100. So yeah, nice decline as well. In general, look, it worked out. I reached my target, my 15,857 territory. I spoke about this. Good result. Tested it, and then we drifted back down. So now we need to kind of refresh this chart a little bit, remove some stuff, and I think that if you're looking for some higher levels, I think that this territory is a good one to watch. The 15,857. If we do clear it, then yes, more buyers could join in. So, and also keep your eyes on this little short-term tentative downside resistance line, which could also play out nicely. For the downside, I would like to see a drop below the 15,431.75 area level, or should I say the area between those levels. And then, yeah, we'll consider a possible test of this upside line. But if that gets cleared, well, guess what? Further declines are possible, because at the same time, we would fall below the 50-day EMA. Just bear with me one moment. So, sorry, needed a sip of hot tea. The German index, DAX, and there we go. Popped. Beautiful. Finally, we're doing something here, and it's working out nicely. I talked about this before, and there we go. We popped above that 16,332 territory. That's great. What's next? Well, as I said before, my next target will be this 16,571. I'm still aiming for that. So, yep. And then I'll take it from there. If we reach it, great. We'll have to reevaluate things. But if we somehow start falling back inside this range, or should I say back below the 16,332 territory, then that's where, yes, I will get a little bit more comfortable with lower levels. FTSE 100, very quickly on that one. Look at this, beautiful, honestly. I mean, it's just working out according to the plan so far. Everything can change, of course, but so far it's doing a good job. So look, I talked about this. I said to you that I'm going to keep an eye on this barrier right here. This one right there. Yeah, guys. And there we go. We got my kind of, we approached this hurdle. We tested it. This area near that hurdle, and we're drifting to the downside. So long story short, for now, I'm considering maybe a retest of this 100-day EMA shown here as the green line, or maybe even the 200 and the 50-day EMAs together here. But again, that's just an idea. In case this suddenly, let's say, decides not to go there and decides to pop straight away above this 7,704 zone, then that's from where I'll get a little bit more comfortable with higher levels, because a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed. US dollar. Ladies and gentlemen, just bear with me one moment. Ladies and gentlemen, so sorry for that, for disappearing. I had to clear clear up my throat a little bit. Yeah, it's morning. Unfortunately, I feel every morning I have to go through this routine of clearing, my throat before talking, because again, then the voice just kind of goes down. But Auto Effects, good morning. Good morning to you too. I can see you there in the chat room. Thank you very much also for your comment. So, the dollar, the US dollar. Look, I talked about this yesterday, and I mentioned this, and I said to you guys, look, if we do drop and stay below this highlighted territory, this purple highlighted territory, then yes, I'll lean a little bit more towards the downside. We did get a drop, but we failed to stay below it. And then we saw this nice rebound. So basically, we can accept this, that this worked out perfectly. And look at this. I mean, we tested my target beautifully, and the 101.50 territory got tested together with the 50-day EMA. So long story short, mission accomplished, and we can rest now. Today, I mean, honestly, if this continues to trade above that 101.50 zone, okay, that increases the chances for a possible move higher, further north. But I think that just for that extra confirmation, I think that a push above the 50-day EMA would be needed. Now, another thing that I want to see if this is going to work out or not is will the index here, the dollar index, start forming something of a bullish flag again. Me trying to rub my crystal ball and trying to get ahead of myself. I get it, but let's like I said, let's see if that happens. But either way, if it's a bullish flag, non-bullish flag, if you want to go higher, I think that the better option is to wait for a push above the 50-day EMA. Gold, there we go, beautiful decline. So look, I talked about this, and my targets got reached perfectly. I talked about this. I said to you that if we do pop above this 1985 territory, then I'll go higher. What did happen? We didn't pop, and this is exactly why I say to you, wait, don't rush into anything. Or if you're rushing, then have a bit of a tight stop loss, because this might happen. And look at this, we sold off heavily. We then fell. I said to you yesterday that if we do fall back below this 1964 territory, I'll go a little bit to the downside. And this was my a little bit. It was my test of the 50 and the 100, and together with this 1945 territory. Boom. Honestly, I'm gonna be a little bit proud on this one, and it worked out nicely, because I was really hoping, wanting to see something like that. So what's next now? This level here, the 1964, I think it can go. It did its job, and now we can rest. Now we can focus on some other levels. Now, in terms of going further south, I think for me here at this point, I would need to see a drop below the 1945-46 territory, and then yes, and then yes, more sellers could join in. So if we do fall below this 1945-46 zone here, we also fall below the 100-day EMA, and we could then target the 200-day EMA right here. That's going to be my simplistic game plan on this one. Look, let's see if this is going to work out. But for now, if we remain in this territory, I will just observe the price action. Now, look, I get it. Some of you are thinking, but hey, what about the upside? Yeah, the upside. I'm going to take a very conservative approach here, and I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until I get some sort of a clearance of this downside line together maybe with that 1983-85 area. But I get it. Some of you are, are maybe a little bit impatient here, and you're trying to capture something around here. Yes, that could be an option because we have this here as well. So we have this 1946-45 zone, right? And we have this downside line. Well, guess what? What's happening here? A possible descending triangle, which, according to all the TA rules, tends to break to the downside. However, I've said it again. I'll say it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it before, and I'll say it again. I will be a little bit more on the cautious side because, again, I've seen this happening in the opposite, working out in the opposite direction, and that's why I rather just kind of wait. So, look, if we continue to trade in this zone here, okay, might as well. If you want to capture something here, I would say maybe if we do look at the 4-hour, but then I don't really like that one. I prefer to stick to the daily, and I would rather maybe wait for a push somewhere above this zone, this 1960 territory, something like that. But again, that's not even clear because we have some other targets here. Yeah, look, I would say this way. I'll let it rest. I want to see if there's going to be some sort of like jumpiness coming in. So I will just leave it for now. I'm just going to observe the price action. I'm gonna pick up on gold next week because, well, obviously, but in general, in terms of like a good possible maybe breakout level for the upside. But at this point, I'm not seeing it, and to be honest, I think it could remain a little bit chaotic right now. Silver. Silver broke nicely the key support zone. I talked about it, and there we go. The 24.53 territory got destroyed here, and we opened the door towards lower levels. So far, we are on the right track. We're coming closer to that 50-day EMA. This is what I was aiming for, and I said to you that I'm going to aim for that area if we do drop below this territory. So yeah, and also I here on Easy Markets I threw out this idea previously and on the 26th of July. So I said to you that look, I'm gonna aim for for these EMAs, but also I'm gonna aim for this upside line. This is gonna be my ideal scenario. But initially, of course, we need to target the EMAs, the 50 and the 100, and then we'll kind of go from there slowly. So yeah, oh, by the way, in terms of these ideas, look, you can throw out some, I don't know if you do it already or not, but you can throw out some ideas as well. And if you tag us, for example, if you use the Easy Market instrument and you tag us here somewhere in the bottom, like you can tag me as well if you want. You can tag Easy Markets as well. Well, mainly Easy Markets and then me. Additionally, and yeah, we see like hopefully that comes through as an alert for us, and then we see it, and then if we we see which one we like, and I will pick up on that your idea during my webinar. So something just to kind of check. I want to see how how you think as well. So I think that would be quite interesting to know. So yeah, guys, this is just something that we're starting to test if it's gonna work nicely or not. But yeah, just like I said, you can throw out something there, tag us in, and then yeah, we'll like I said, we'll pick up on some of your ideas. I'll pick up on this because I'm going to be showing it in my webinars. So yeah, might be fun. A little bit of interaction, you know. So I do like to interact with people. So hey, uh, maybe could, you know, blossom into something a little bit better, something much nicer. Copper. I talked about it. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because, look, I said to you before and yesterday that in order for me to go higher, I need to see a push above this whole territory right here. And then we could aim for that psychological 4 zone or even above that. While we remain in this ascending triangle pattern, inside of it, I'm not really touching it. I'm just observing the price action. If we start breaking the lower side of the ascending triangle, well, guess what? Lower levels could be met. Oil. So this one's a pain a bit because, again, we are struggling here with this territory, this resistance area, a very quite wide one, I would say. But yes, the psychological $80 mark is still you know, up for grabs for the bulls. I mean, we're seeing that, you know, they're struggling right now with that one. Let's see if they can clear it. Yesterday they cleared it, but they failed to stay above it. So let's see now if we can, yeah, if we can kind of go higher again. So, but to be honest, a lot will depend on this one, this fella here, the US dollar. So if it declines here, maybe yes, maybe we could see oil popping above the $80 mark. Wheat. So I picked up on this one before. I think it was JD Invest One who asked me about it. I can't remember. Sorry, apologies if I yeah, on that one. Apologies if I didn't get the name right. Who actually we spoke about during the webinar? I think on Wednesday or Tuesday about wheat. So, and this is what I said to you guys then that yes, we, you know, there are problems. The whole issue with Russia, Ukraine, and yes, of course, both of them are like top 1 and top 5 respectively producers in the world producers of wheat. And yeah, I mean, look, I said to you also that the price, yes, the price got boosted, and I think that this was the goal. The goal was to boost it a little bit, the price, to kind of make that, you know, fear, the market, create that fear in the market that, you know, there could be some damages with the supply. But I think that the only, as I'll repeat myself, and I already said this in my previous videos, I said that you cannot really, you know, damage the supply because, again, there were no nature cataclysms, and that's the only thing that can damage it. Because if you have a good harvest and you keep it, you took it, you cannot store it for forever. You have you know, you have that, you need to sell it, you need to pass it on, and it would be foolish just to kind of let it rot and let it, you know, not happen anything with it. Because, well, first of all, you need money and you have a lot of that stuff, and you're just gonna allow it to rot just because, you know, you want to scare a little bit someone. But no, look, I would say you're not going to do that. And the same, it doesn't only apply to, you know, wheat. It applies to other commodities as well. So it's same with oil. You know, like what storage of oil. If they pumped a lot and then storing it, that costs money as well. So, you know, and that's why it's better to pump it and sell it. Pump it and sell it. The same story with wheat. You know, you harvest, you get the harvest, you sell it. You don't store it forever, because otherwise you're gonna, you know, it's gonna, first of all, cost you the storage, and then it will go bad. And you better just sell it what, you know, the market offers, and just you know, and you're just gonna go from there. You know, like I said, the only thing that can make it suffer, or, you know, shoot the price up here, I think, is a natural disaster. So for now, we're holding on to it, so we're holding okay. But yeah, if something like later on happens, like floods, fires, yeah, that's what could damage, you know, that's what could ramp up the price here a little bit for wheat. Bitcoin. Oh, and by the way, in terms of this, I'm sticking to my guns. Look, I said to you before that if we do drop back below the 200 EMA, I'm going to aim lower initially for this territory, this highlighted zone. Boom. and that if that gets cleared, then I'm going to go for this upside line. So far, so good. Let's see if we can clear this highlighted territory. For the upside, I need to see a push above the 757 level. Bitcoin held nicely. Yes, of course. Obviously, dollar rose yesterday, and I said to you that if we do continue to trade below this hurdle, then guess what? More downside could come. And so far, I'm sticking to that, to be honest. I'm aiming for the 100-day EMA initially near the 28,440 zone. If that gets cleared, then yes, further declines are possible. So at the moment, I'm bearish, a little bit bearish, as long as it continues to trade below this downside line and below that 29,500 zone. If it pops above it, great, I'll start examining higher levels. Ethereum, similar story. We're stuck here. So as I said, I'm not going to really touch on this one too much because, again, the same analysis is valid. You need to kind of, get a clearance here, and then we can do something. Let's get out of the squeeze first, and then we will reevaluate things. Litecoin, this one's a little bit better because, again, look at this. We seem to be breaking the upper side of the falling wedge pattern. My only concern with that is that we are not really getting a strong one. And yeah, that's really kind of disappointing me a little bit. And that's why it's making me worry about further upside. And also, I said to you that I will get more comfortable with the upside if we do pop above the 50-day EMA right here, shown as the red line. Well, we're struggling with that. So if we continue to struggle with that, then maybe actually this is not a falling wedge. We can probably ignore it. And instead of that, we can maybe focus on this little idea where it is maybe a bearish flag forming here. So we have our pole and we have our little correction. So yeah, that could lead to some lower levels. Just be careful with that. Let's jump into a few pairs before I run out of time, guys, but I have a few I want to go through. So just very quickly, I'm just going to pick up on this quickly because, again, I talked a lot already about it, and there we go. So look, first of all, we fell below the 0.6740 zone. I talked about it yesterday. I said my next target is going to be the upside line. Great. I said to you that also if the upside line gets broken, I'm going to go lower. As long as we stay below this upside line drawn from the low of the 31st of May, then yes, I'll continue targeting the downside. So far, so good. AUDNZD, also I said to you that if we do fall below this hurdle, this 1.0842, something like that, below this 200-day EMA, then yes, I'll go lower, initially aiming for this 1.08 territory, and if that gets cleared, further declines are possible. Half of the way is done. Let's see if we can do the other half. AUDJPY, beautiful. I picked up on this in the beginning of this week, and there we go. I said to you that if we do fall back below the 95.15 territory, I will aim for this upside line. There we go. We tested it beautifully. We pierced through it and we stayed below it. And, well, to be honest, I'm kind of considering something like this right now. Something like, a correction back up, a test of this upside line from underneath, and then another decline. So let's see if that works out. And if it works out, then certainly more sellers could join in here. Now, in terms of a little bit on the cautious side, being on the cautious side, maybe this is 91.80 territory, somewhere around here. Let's round it up. Maybe that could be a better indication for some further declines. But hey, I think that the swings have been quite severe here. So that's why waiting for this hurdle, it might take a while. So that's why I will just maybe consider this scenario first, where a little bit of retracement, maybe back up, and then a move back to the downside. NZD, JPY. By the way, if you can see, I have a lot of JPY pairs, just because, again, like I said, we had the BoJ today. We had some data that came out today, so we have to look at JPY. And also another thing is that yesterday the stock market, the U.S. stock market declined. That brought some bearishness, and yes, of course, the yen buying resumed, so everybody started jumping into the yen, and these are the effects. And look at these moves here. So NZD JPY, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but one thing that worked out is this upside line I talked about previously. I said to you that if we do break it, break below it, I'll go lower, 100, and then the 200-day EMA. Worked out like a charm. So what can we do now? We can keep an eye on this 200-day EMA. If it provides good support, maybe a bit of a rebound here could be possible. Downside line, this is something that I'm going to draw here. It's a tentative one, don't get me wrong, but still, a good potential line right here. Now, in order to go, let's say, further south, I would say for that you need to wait for a drop somewhere below this 200-day EMA, and then we could consider that move. CHFJPY, the battle of the two safe havens, and there we go. CHF declined, Japanese yen took the lead, and there we go. I spoke about this previously. I said to you that if we do fall below the 101.65 territory, I'll aim for this upside line. Great, mission accomplished. What's next? Next is again this upside line. And if we do fall below it and we fall below the 50-day EMA, yes, I'm going to go lower and I'm going to aim for the for this 100-day EMA. That's it. For the upside, on this one, I would like to see this is let's see what I like to see. This can go. I think it needs to be readjusted. So okay, this kinda. Yeah, so, okay, look, maybe this level here, the 161.30 could be an interesting one. If we do pop above it, then yes, my next target is the 163, or should I say 164 territory. That's what I'm going to aim for if we do once again pop up and stay above the 161.30 zone. USDJPY, just very quickly on this one. So yeah, roller coaster ride. Of course, yesterday declined. Today we popped again and declined again. So look, I would say leave it for next week. Just let it settle. Let's see what's going to happen. But in general, I spoke about this in the beginning of this week, and I said to you that if we do drop and stay below the 140.50 territory here, and we fall below the 50-day EMA, then yeah, I'll go lower. My next target will be the 100-day EMA. And fantastic reach, fantastic test of that area. So great. What's next? So this 138.75 territory is doing a good job so far. If we do fall below it, then yes, my next target is the 200-day EMA together with this 137.24 zone. In terms of the upside, I would like to see a push back above the 140.50 territory right here. And then, yes, I will take it from there. I will go higher. I will aim for this downside line. But yeah, that's my simplistic approach here for now on USDJPY. USDCHF, so beautiful retracement. Look at this. Everything worked out. I said to you before that if we do fall and stay below the 0.8631 territory, my next target is the 0.8555. Boom. Fantastic test. Look at this. Just worked out perfectly. And then yesterday, once the news started coming out, then from the US, and then we saw a huge reversal here, and now we're testing that 87 territory. I said to you before that if we do pop and stay above the 0.87 territory, then yes, my next target is the 0.8820 near this 50-day EMA. That's going to be, like I said, my next good target. For the downside, again, I will stick to the same game plan. A drop below the 0.864131 territory right here might do the trick for a few more sellers, or maybe actually, let me just see if this is going to work. 0.8656. Okay, we can start looking at that one already from, to the downside. We can start looking at the downside already from this territory. Let's see if that's going to work out. USDCAD, very quickly on this one. So we're still in the range. I said it before. I talked about it. So I need to see a clearance here. And I need to see the pair staying, the body of the daily candle staying above it. Yeah, false breakouts are not bad, but not exactly doing a good job for me here. So I need to see this one remaining above the 1.3232 territory, and then I'll go a little bit higher. GBPUSD, so yes, of course, declined. So in general, look, it worked out. Everything worked out. Yesterday, I said to you that if we continue to trade above this, this 1.2448, and in the beginning of this week, I said to you also that if we do rebound and stay above this 1.2848 zone, then yes, I'm aiming for this 1.30 zone. Beautiful. Beautiful 130 zone, tested, great, and then we sold off, and there we go. We sold with a bang, and we sold off here, and we broke this upside line, and we stayed below it, and yes, we reached the 50-day EMA where we found good support around here. Now, what's next? Well, I think it's time to maybe start aiming for, the 100-day EMA. But for that, I need to see a drop below the 50-day EMA. Simple as that. GBPNZD, roller coaster ride. There we go. Look at this. I mean, I am just giving you a quick update on this one because, look, I'm still watching. I'm very conservative here, and I'm still watching these two areas: the 2.0494 on the downside and the 2.0920 on the upside. Now, some of you might say, "Hey, Darius, maybe this is a nice." Coiling moment happening here, and I'll say, hey, you're not wrong there, because it seems like, yes, we are coiling up. Now it's difficult to draw this other line here. I mean, maybe it's something like this. So we're kind of in a squeeze right now. So basically, we're in this range. Let me just actually mark this for a future reference. We're in this range here, and we are also stuck in here, stuck in this little kind of squeeze. So in order for me to consider a move higher or lower, a break of the upper side here of this triangle is needed, or a break of the lower side is required as well. So in order to consider the next short-term directional move within the range, by the way. So in other words, I can put my arrow, this one right here, like this. And for the upside, from the very, very short-term perspective, I can put it like this. Yep, that's the game plan. So far, we're testing the upper side, so let's see if we can clear that one. GBPJPY, yeah, beautiful drop. Look, I talked about it. I said to you that if we do clear the lower side of this range, then yes, I will consider a move lower. And there we go. We stayed below the 50-day EMA, and my next target is the 100-day EMA. So simple as that. That's going to be my game plan. And yes, I'm going to consider further moves north if we do somehow climb higher here, back inside this range. But even then, the problem is this downside line. So in other words, if you want to aim for the upside, probably a better option is to just kind of wait for a break of this downside line, and then, yeah, go a little bit higher. But at this point, look, if even if it retraces a little bit more to the upside again, as long as it stays below this lower side of the range that got broken, then yeah, more downside could come. So, EUROJPY, similar story, beautiful move. I talked about it. I said to you that, look, in order for me to go higher, I need to see a push above this barrier. This didn't happen. On Monday, we were here, and look at this. This 158 continued to hold, and we failed to move above it. And instead, I said to you that if we do fall below the 155.59 territory, my next target is the 153.42. Boom. Fantastic. Good result here. And we actually continued to slide, and we tested the 100-day EMA. Great. Now what's next? We can now keep an eye on the 100-day EMA. If that gets cleared, then yes, I will go to the downside. I'll go and aim for this 200-day EMA, and I'll take it from there. For the upside on this one, although I do like this 158 territory a lot, but I think that it would be reasonable to start looking at some higher levels a little bit earlier. So maybe a push back above the 50-day EMA and a push back above this 155.59 territory could be ideal. EURAUD, just a quick update. Beautiful move. We're still in a range, and so far so good. Everything's working out nicely. We're popping above the 1.6414. I said it before, and I'll say it again. If we do climb back above it and stay above it, then yes, my next target is the 1.6555 territory, and then we'll take it from there. Yep, and I said that I will aim for the upper side of the range, and there we go. I've mentioned this already, like I said, in this week, so working out perfectly. If this upper side of the range gets cleared, then yes, I'll go higher. But to be honest, I think that somehow that this might stay like this week, and maybe it'll keep the exit out of the range for next week. EuroCHF, so beautiful test. Everything's working out. So look, I talked about this 0.9525 territory. Look at this, and beautiful test. I've just picked up on this level yesterday, and there we go. Beautiful test of it, beautiful hold up, and now we're seeing a rebound. Now, I'm not saying that I'm getting very bullish on this one from the very short-term perspective, no, but if we do climb and stay above the 0.9561 territory right here, then yes, I'll consider a larger correction to the upside towards this downside line drawn from the high of the 16th of July, and then we'll take it from there. EURUSD, I mean, amazing. So, this is where it kind of worked nicely and not. The idea was that yesterday I said to you that if we continue to trade below this this 1.1095 territory, then yes, I will consider a move back down towards this upside line. It kind of worked if we go from the perspective of the body of the daily candle. But of course, we popped above it. But look, I told you as well yesterday that I will get more comfortable with higher levels if we do pop above the 1.1145. We got that little pop, we got that little false breakout, and this is where you remember about entering positions yesterday. We talked about this, and there we go. We kind of got that, that little tease here as well. So this is where, a lot of buyers probably were waiting for this one. They started jumping in here, and then straight away it kind of went against them. So that's why you need to always let it settle, let it wait. Patience is gold, and patience is key. And there we go. This is where the bears enjoyed the moment, because when we started falling back below the 1.1095 here, well, guess what? Probably sellers started jumping into this one and pushing nicely to the downside. And of course, yesterday ECB came out, so with another interest rate hike, but I think that here with the main driver was the dollar with the US preliminary GDP numbers, and yeah, that's the result we got here. So my question now, can we break this upside line? And if we can, okay, great, I'll go lower. I'll aim for the 100-day EMA initially, and then I'll take it from there. In terms of the further declines, if that gets cleared, well, guess what? Further, yes, more downside could come, and then we will take it from there, guys. So, long story short, this is my game plan, and if we do break and stay below this upside line, I'll go lower. But to be honest, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it for today, and I'm just going to observe the price action, because there's a lot of interesting stuff happening, but neither of them are ticking all of my boxes. If one box is not getting ticked on my trades, then sorry, no good. I need all the boxes to get ticked. So yeah, guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for sticking around for this whole week. The week was exciting. Look, if you managed to already make some good profits, I would say leave it for next week, because today we could see, like a continuation of some crazy moves, and if you're on the wrong side, maybe, it can just like not rebound, it could just be one-way traffic. And just because of this week, all these interest rate decisions, and also we have the PCE today, so don't forget about that one. Look, if it's not working, if let's say all your boxes are not getting ticked, don't. If it is ticking, then great. All the criteria are met, then good. You can try to do it, but just be a little bit more on the safe side. Maybe don't risk as much. Have maybe a tighter stop loss, and risk only what you can afford to lose. These are the main rules, guys. And of course, yes, try to keep cool. Keep a cool head, and everything will be fine. So yeah, guys, thank you very much. I will see you on Monday now. Yes, 6 o'clock GMT time. Have a beautiful trading day. Have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you later on Monday, 6 o'clock GMT time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So, like this video? We speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.